Hey, welcome back everyone. It is now May 13th of 2021, and ever since the very end of The Mandalorian Season 2's finale, a lot of fans around the world have been very intrigued about the future of the Star Wars franchise by Disney, Lucasfilm, Bob Chapek, and of course what's going on between Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni behind the scenes, and what they have in store for numerous projects that are currently in the works. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you're new to the channel for future Star Wars content. Also make sure to check me out at Mike01 on Twitter. Now, moving on beyond all of this, alright, ever since the Gina Carano firing, we do know that a lot of fans have really been up in arms over how poorly everything was handled when it came to this actress. In my opinion, Gina Carano really did nothing wrong at all. She was making a pure analogy on Twitter, and that was all there was really to it, and it was just really taken out of control by Lucasfilm. So here we are, we're approaching the middle point of 2021. Isn't it crazy how time just flies by like this? We're getting closer to the Book of Boba Fett's release this December, roughly 6 months plus away. Cannot wait for that. And then we got the Kenobi series as well as the Andor series slated for next year in 2022. However, the thing that really does intrigue a lot of fans the most is exactly what Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni are planning to do with Gina Carano. Now, May 25th is going to be a big day. It's the final meeting between Jon, Dave, and the higher-ups over at Disney about the entire Gina Carano situation and exactly how the rehiring process could really begin if they do agree to do all of that. On top of that, it's all a matter of Gina Carano also accepting on coming back on board for the Mandalorian series. Now, this is where things begin to get very exciting and how it involves creator Dave Filoni himself. Now, with Dave Filoni working on multiple TV shows such as Star Wars Ahsoka, The Mandalorian Season 3 and 4, as well as the reformed version of Rangers of the New Republic, it's best described that creator Dave Filoni is also set to drag in tons of Star Wars Legends material into the mix for the new Star Wars stories to come, with George Lucas and Jon Favreau by his side. However, it's noted that Dave Filoni recently created a huge change for actress Gina Carano for The Mandalorian Season 3, which is set to debut next year in 2022. It's noted that Dave Filoni recently convinced many of the higher-ups over at Disney in a recent meeting with the board members before his final meeting starts on the 27th of May to include all of Gina Carano's deleted scenes from Season 2 to be reworked into the third season in a very unexpected way for fans. Further, it's described that these scenes involve both Gina Carano as Cara Dune in scenes with Rosario Dawson as Ahsoka Tano in the show. It's described that Dave Filoni even met with Disney CEO Bob Chapek to make the call on including many of Gina's deleted scenes to be added into Mandalorian Season 3 from the second season that will be used as a supplement, if you will, if she is to be brought back on a minimal scale for the third season before her bigger debut in Season 4. Now, it's said that Filoni even convinced even more board members that were originally sided and supported Kathleen Kennedy and against Gina Carano to eventually become more in support of Carano and her firing. Filoni is described to actually have also convinced Disney to make some form of a public apology for how poorly Carano's firing was by this July. This July, Disney is described to make a big statement involving Gina Carano and how it could have been handled in a more professional manner. Filoni, however, wants to make sure that Carano is treated like a human being and feels that the Lucasfilm employees publicly shaming her is just downright wrong. Now, I want to give it to Dave Filoni because this is a guy that seems to really respect those that are being harassed and are not really being treated right. You know, we have seen what Freddie Prinze Jr. did, of how he was mocking Gina Carano and thought that her firing was funny, and the list goes on. So, the thing about Dave Filoni is that this guy is a very busy man. He is working pretty much, over the clock here when it comes to Star Wars. I mean, he really is. Around the clock with, of course, Disney projects, Lucasfilm projects, whatever have you, animated material, live action, whatever it may be. Dave Filoni is really giving it his all with this new universe and exactly where it's all going to go. So, the thing about Dave Filoni convincing the higher-ups over at Disney to include pretty much all of Gina's deleted scenes from Season 2 to be implanted into the 3rd season, it's an eye-opener, let me tell you. I mean, it really is quite exciting to actually learn that Dave Filoni is convincing many of the higher-ups over at Disney to kind of change their overall view. That maybe they made a mistake on firing Gina so fast, and maybe they placed a lot of judgment on her way too quickly. I think that obviously this July is going to be a big month because that statement by Disney, it's going to speak volumes. And by the very end of this month of May, they're going to make an official decision on whether or not they are going to bring back Gina Carano into the Mandalorian series. So far, it's looking good. A lot of board members that originally supported Kathleen Kennedy and originally supported Gina's firing are now actually going in reverse of that. So that just goes to show you that both Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni can really make a major impact with their words, with their beliefs, and with their knowledge of Star Wars and their knowledge of how a business should really work and run overall. I think that Jon and Dave are really going to do amazing things in the coming months. Now, here's the other thing that I think a lot of fans need to know, is that Kathleen Kennedy is also fighting to prevent this from happening. She herself, of course, is getting entangled with the Disney meetings between Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni, trying to prevent all of this from progressing into the rehiring of Gina Carano and more. When we examine everything that actually is set to be announced by this fall, there's going to be a lot of projects that will be announced this fall. What Jon and Dave want, they don't only want her to be involved with Mando. They also want Gina to be involved with other Star Wars projects, even the reformed version of Rangers of the New Republic that actually got reformed all because of her firing. So a lot of things did happen over the course of the past couple of months. And that really does speak volumes. It tells us that Jon and Dave, they want to make a difference. They want to make sure that they can really satisfy a large portion of the Star Wars fandom and really give the fans, something to look forward to, something to really be excited about. And that's the overall goal. They want to make sure that a lot of fans can just really accept, what's coming their way when it comes to Star Wars and kind of just enjoy everything. The other thing is that the biggest question of all, will Gina Carano be happy about these deleted scenes coming on board of the 3rd season? And will she even accept of coming back into the Star Wars universe? That is a big question open on the table for discussion right now. That is the biggest mystery of all. Will Gina Carano even accept coming back into the Mandalorian series? I myself, if I were her, it would be pretty much no. I would not want to come back after I was treated in such a terrible way. But if you look at it from a different perspective, she can do this for the fans. She can do this to make the fans happy. She doesn't have to look at it on a business level. She can look at it on a fandom level of making the fans satisfied. She knows that a lot of young girls look up to her character, and what better way to make them more happy than to come back into Star Wars and really fulfill their dreams. So, like I've said before in the past, guys, let me know what you think about all of this in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.
Gun in hand, we are alone again. No hiding. From night to moon, we hear them moans again. No.